Ooh, okay, so. How y'all doing? Just waiting for this. We're just waiting for the stream to start up, and then I'll start the intro and everything. I hate everybody right now. Let me guess, that's the stream starting up. Yep, that is the stream starting up, so time for me to drop this volume to nothing. Alright, cool. So, I'm just sitting there flicking the toothpick at the beginning. I'm watching myself do it. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, and thank you for joining us once again, The Modern Source of Gaming. I'm KaijuK, and behind me in the black shirt, as tiny can be, is Necro Nick. Say hello, Necro.
What's up?
Also with us is the hidden demon himself, Grim.
Hey.
The Tower of Power, Juggernaut Jared.
Yo.
And another surprise guest, the Kitten of Violence and Anger, the Kitten of Doom.
Hi.
Now tonight we got a full house, so we're going to go start this up by talking about what we have to say is our favorite topic of all time, video games. If you can't tell by the fact that we have a channel entirely based on video games.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, seriously, who would have thunk that? But not all of us have played video games at the same time. Some of us have never played what I consider to be good video games. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, Call of Duty is one of the greatest games ever.
Bullshit!
I'm sorry, I gotta just laugh at that a little. Or, perhaps there's those people out there that are trying to tell me that, hey, you know what else is a really, really good game? I'll tell you what's a really, really good game. Really, really good game is Battlefield. Or perhaps I should go out and get the Switch. Because that's 100% awesome right there. Oh, shiza. Give me a second here, folks. I'm trying to do something real quick. But not a lot of the youngsters out there have actually played the games. Now, what I mean by the games are actual games from actual game systems. Systems that were meant originally to be fun, but extremely difficult.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of these games, people at Kyle's age haven't even been in yet.
Yepers, let me tell you.
We're talking 30, well, not, I guess around 30 plus years almost being out, if not longer.
Yep, there are some games that have been out for so long that I'm surprised people haven't tried to play them more. But the problem is that a lot of the games now just hold your hand, and I really I hate that. Or that they're all, hey, look how pretty and how epic our graphics are. You must want to buy us. And then they turn out to be next to nothing. They turn out to be just garbage games. And trust me, I know people out there who are just nodding their head going, yep, I know those games. So, with that being said, it's time for us to go through the past to the present. From the very beginning, from the Atari 2600, yes, I know the Pong system came first, but it had one game. So everyone's favorite game on the Pong system was Pong, right?
Yeah.
Anyone complaining about that?
Nope.
All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a round robin. We're going to start over here with Grim or Juggernaut, whoever wants to jump in first. We'll go to Kitten of Doom, the world's tiniest African man here, Necro Nick. He's an albino. And apparently someone's trying to steal his brains.
What brains?
Oh, that might be the pizza.
Yeah,
Yep, and then we're going to end it up with just KaijuK here. Now, the difference is... I have a lot of games that I enjoyed as a child.
It's so boring, too.
But, I'll tell you this much. Games have always been a big part of my life. Shut up, Cody. They have always been a wonder to me. I've always wanted to play them, and I've always wanted to show people what good games were. So, starting at the Atari 2600... I guess we'll start off with you, Juggernaut Jared. Name one of your favorite games from the Atari 2600.
Pitfall.
Pitfall. Pitfall was indeed... Wait, was that for the 2600?
Yes, it was.
I thought it was for the 52.
26.
Okay, well, Pitfall was a fun game. It was a side-scroller where you basically hop, skipped, jumped, and swung from one side of the map to the other. I believe you were collecting treasures.
Yep.
It didn't have the best graphics, and its sound effects really just made you want to beat yourself with a frying pan after a while. But hey... It was a great game, and I remember playing it. Kitten, do you have any 2600 games that you enjoyed? Or that you wanted to play, perhaps?
Well, honestly, I've never even seen the system. Never even heard of it. I've heard of Atari. I didn't know there was 2 different versions.
Actually, there's 3.
Even more mind blown.
Although I don't think the 7800 came to the States.
7800 did briefly come to the States, but it was like month before they said, no.
Okay, so you were saying?
Yeah. with never seeing it or anything like that, knowing what games were made, I can't put anything in on that one.
All right. Cool. Grim appears to be carrying... Oh, well, geez, Grim. You could have left the door open, man. We would have helped. Dang it. We just put it down there, and you and Juggernaut and Kitten can eat. Me and Necro will wait. So...
You don't want to make the subscribers hungry?
No, that's the last thing I want to do. Go ahead and knock stuff off if you have to, man. Just destroy places. I don't care around here. This is my bedroom now, but eventually it'll be a recording studio permanently. So, Necro Nick, I guess you're next up. Name an Atari 2600 game you liked.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Pac-Man.
No.
No.
Pac-Man was
for the
Really?
yeah.
5200.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're talking about Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
Yes,
Sorry.
Miss Pac-Man did exist,
There you go, that's yours.
and Miss Pac-Man was fun if you could get the point across. Graham, were there any Atari 2600 games you liked?
I never really played any Atari.
Now, for me, I tried to limit myself to one, but I couldn't do it. So, for me, I have 4 games that I really enjoyed.
I mean, I have more than that.
I know. I'm just like, what's your favorite though?
Oh,
Because I'm gonna name a few, and I'm sure everyone liked them, and I'm gonna name my favorite. That's just what I'm gonna do with these
okay.
lists here. So, so some of the games I enjoyed, of course, were games like Centipede. This is where you sat at the bottom of the screen shooting up at a multi-segmented creature who would break off and come closer and closer until it finally killed you or until you killed it.
if you want to see a new age version of that, watch Pixels.
Yeah, Pixels will show you what it looks like. Then there was Missile Command, where you sat down at the bottom of the screen shooting up little strings that exploded when they hit asteroids, I guess they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
That was always a fun one. Miss Pac-Man, of course. If you played the Atari 2600, you played Miss Pac-Man. But my personal favorite was Joust. Now, Joust, you played this guy that was on top of, I guess it was supposed to be an ostrich. And you flapped real hard, and your job was to kill the other jousters and hop on their heads and knock them to lava. It was a fun game.
I mean, I like Frogger. Frogger, I think, was my favorite game, though.
Next up on the list, moving even to a more expensive and yet more for one with that better graphics, of course, I should be saying, the Atari 5200.
Right.
This was twice as good as the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
They seem to be increasing. Like when the 7800 came out, it was just a little bit better now. Jared,
I never really played any games for the 52.
how about you, Grim?
What?
Atari 5200? No?
No, I never played it.
Kitten?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, all right. Pac-Man was always a fun one. Once again, Miss Pac-Man, the original Pac-Man came out for the arcades.
Yes.
Then Miss Pac-Man came out for the Atari 2600, so that at the 5200 they brought out Pac-Man himself. And then after that, I believe they tried to make him 3D. So,
Didn't Galaga 1 or 2 come out for the 50?
I believe Galaga 1 came out for the 5200.
That was my favorite back in the day.
For me, there were a couple of them. There was Dig Dug, where you played as basically a mole man, I called him. You were digging through the dirt and trying to kill dragons and strange orbs that were wearing goggles, and you pumped them full of the air and they exploded.
Yeah.
Or you dropped rocks on them, or any number of other things. It was fun.
Watched my brother play that all the time.
Then there was Frogger, of course. Everyone likes
Oh,
Frogger.
fuck yeah, Frogger.
Or what's it called now? What's that one you play, Jared? The
Disney Crossy Road.
Disney Crossy Road, which is basically Frogger turned on its side with better graphics. That's really all it is. It's like at an angle. But you can be different Disney characters, so it's the same idea. Pitfall did come out for the 5200 with slightly better graphics and music. But personally, I enjoyed Q*bert. Now, Q*bert was about this little egg guy with a trumpet nose, or mouth, I guess it was. And your job was to jump on all the squares on the map and change them to the same color. And during the time, of course, there were enemies coming and attacking you, and power-ups you could pick up. It was all fun and games.
I know Q*bert
Quite
came
literally.
But a shit.
out- I know Q*bert
All right.
came out for the 2600 too.
Did it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that did come out for the 2600 too, I guess. Oh, we have 3 people watching. Hey, good evening, everybody.
Hi, people.
Thank you for joining us. Next came nothing yet.
Okay.
Of course, nothing came worse to me doing this list until I got up to this point right here, folks. The Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, if we skipped a few of these, you need to understand that those are the systems that no one in this room has ever played or even heard. You remember how I said the very first console system was the Pong system? Well, I've never played it. but I know there's one game. So I mean, just wait till we get.
Who hasn't played Pong?
Yeah, but just wait till we get to the Xbox and I go completely dark. Because I can't remember any of the games from the Xbox that I played. Because I basically went from Xbox for one particular game. That was my brother's system. There's only one particular game I remember, and I'm going to catch flack for it. But when we get there. But the NES, oh my goodness. 200 plus games, 8 bits, designed to be a great playable system. And to this day, I still play it. Of course, I use an emulator now, but hey, all the games that I have, I probably still have up in the attic. I have like 170 games or so. So
I still have a working NES, Super Nintendo, I believe a Sega Genesis somewhere.
watch him rub it in deeper, folks. Rub the salt in deeper. All right.
GameCube, 64, PlayStation 1 somewhere. Yeah,
Folks, at the end of this, what we'll do is if you'll go to the Modern Series of Gaming homepage, we'll just make sure everyone puts a list of all the game consoles we still own. So for Nintendo, the good old NES, anybody got any favorites they want to talk about?
This list.
Juggernaut.
Super Mario.
Just the original?
Yep.
The original Mario, oh man. My dad had that game so down that he could crush it in like 15 minutes. He was a beast at that game. The original Zelda, too. He was a beast at that game, too.
The original Zelda, just flat screen and you're hopping around.
Yeah, basically, yeah. How about you, Grim? Any of those games you liked?
I mainly played the Mario games, all 3 of those, and obviously the Zelda.
Right, Zelda. Everyone in the room's played Zelda,
I
at
know
least.
there were a couple others that I played, but
Nothing you can
life
think of.
Can't fucking remember them.
All right. Kitten.
Maybe
Super
Castlevania.
Mario 3.
Super Mario 3. Yeah, Super Mario 3 was one of the best games they had on that system.
Okay, for me, I'm going to have a little bit of a list here.
Okay, fire away.
Obviously, the Super Mario games, they were very inventive for back in that day. They re-evolved gaming as we knew it.
No, let's not forget that Super Mario 2 was actually not released in the United States.
Right.
The Super Mario 2 we got was because those of the Japanese culture decided that their Super Mario 2 was actually too difficult for us. And let me tell you something, folks. I played the original Super Mario 2. They were right. It was way harder. It was actually a reskin of a game called, and you guys have heard about it when I played my Let's Play of, or our Let's Play of Game Developer Tycoon, Doki Doki Panic.
Also, Legend of Zelda, the first one, where I almost had a world record in. I bet it at the age of 3.
That's pretty cool, actually. Beat it at 3.
But last but not least was my favorite game of all. Oh wait, hang on. I want to mention one other one in between there. That's Tetris. Tetris was a fantastic game, and still one of the best-selling games of all time.
Actually, to record, it is the best-selling game.
Okay.
Tetris is actually the best-selling game on record of all video games. Fucking suck it, Battlefield. Suck it, Call of Duty. You guys ain't got shit.
Last but not least was Excite Bike.
Oh, where you got to build your own world.
And then race on it, yes.
Yeah, my brother used to make these long maps that would just be a long track, and at the end would be a big ramp to see if it could make it. Well, I got a list too, so let me go through some of them real quick. First off, Super Mario 3. To this day, I hold that in esteem as one of the best Mario games to ever come out. Dragon Warrior 3, my dad loved Dragon Warrior 1. I like the fact that in Dragon Warrior 3 you got to create your party, and they could be whatever class you wanted them to be. Kirby's Adventure, where one of my all-time favorite video game characters came out. A little pink puffball that sucks people up and gets powers from them.
I didn't think he came out until Super Nintendo.
No, he was actually an NES.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. So
now,
just like Tetris, didn't start playing it until Super Nintendo came out.
Now the next one I might catch a few glimpses for. It was not actually a licensed Nintendo game, but it was on the NES, and it was called Noah's Ark.
What?
Noah's Ark. In Noah's Ark, you played as this guy with a beard who was supposed to be Noah. Only, let me tell you something. This guy has some fucking strong muscles.
It actually came as a 3-pack.
Well, actually, you could also get it separate. In Noah's Ark, your job was to take the animals to the Ark. But you didn't herd them there. You didn't do a shepherd guide. No, he motherfucking lifted them. Noah
Really?
bench pressed these, and not just one. He could stack up to 7 animals on his shoulders at the same time. I'm talking oxen, pigs, sheep, elephant, just and just run to the end of the stage and just throw them into the ark. Oh my goodness, it was so fun. And the entire time you're racing this water that's rising. And oh man, it was so much fun to think, okay, we have a biblical character, Noah, built the ark, put the animals on it, but I never imagined this gigantic muscle-bound Arnold Schwarzenegger-looking bastard
He did build an ark.
just bench pressing bison like this while he's walking them to the ship.
Yeah.
No wonder he survived the damn flood.
Yeah.
He probably grabbed the ark with his teeth and swam with it. But the next one is the one that not a lot of people have ever actually played, but I'd like people to look it up. It's spelled Xexyz, or Zexus. Zexus is a cute little side scroller where I guess you're supposed to be a robot. I never figured it out. But you go around and you find hidden passages and you collect items, you fight mini bosses and you fight bosses. And the entire game is basically a side scroller with you going from platforming to flying in a little ship. And the ships are always different. They always had different powers. It was really cool. I mean, I could have thrown a lot on this list, folks. I'm talking
It's probably like the first attempt at a Starfire kind of game.
Yeah.
Or Star Fox.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, I could have put a lot on this list. There's the Mega Man series, the Zelda series. Well, okay, Zelda, because Zelda 2... don't get me started. The Final Fantasy series. I think I
Chrono Trigger.
Whoa, wrong system. Wrong system.
Sorry. That's her.
Don't jump the gun.
Gotcha.
But I think if I were going to do it that way, I'd actually have to make a list of the games I didn't like, which would be a smaller list. All right, so now jumping on to one that I never played, so I'm just going to mark it down as never played, the Sega Master System. Now, this actually came out before the Sega Genesis, which I didn't know about. I know nothing about it. I never even heard about it. And here it is. Anybody played any games on it?
I have.
What'd you play?
Sonic before it came to the Genesis.
Wait, Sonic happened before the Genesis? Take that to the bank, folks. Sonic the Hedgehog happened before
Yep.
Genesis.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I love the Angry Video Game episode on Bibles. Yeah, Brandon, I agree with you. That was great. But still, I played the game, man, and it was great. Just bench... Where do you want the roast pig? Oof. And, by the way, folks, he collected more than 2 of each. I played the game. I must have collected about 80 freaking sheep. I mean, he was eating mutton for a week. That's what it was. Jared, you got to remember to keep peeking back in the chat, man.
Yeah.
So next up on the list, we drop into the next one, of course, which is the Sega Genesis. Now, when Sega Genesis came out, folks, it was super competition with the Nintendo. They were brawling with each other.
Are we going with consoles then handhelds? Or
No, I'm going into the order that they came. So handhelds come after.
Okay.
Remember, Sega Genesis did come before Game Boy.
Actually, Game Boy came 1 month before Genesis.
Well, we're doing Genesis now.
Okay.
Maybe if you did your research first, we would have known this.
Technicalities, man.
So as far as the Sega Genesis comes, the Sega Genesis was the only competition Nintendo had at the beginning. Yes, there was the Tiger handheld systems.
No.
No.
No, there was.
If you want to put an example of how good they were, take the PlayStation 4 and then put a watch next to it and see which one's the better system. You now understand. So for the Sega Genesis, I love the Sega Genesis. I actually got the Sega Genesis I think I got my Super Nintendo a year before it died out, but I had the Sega Genesis since the beginning. So anyone want to start talking about games from their Sega Genesis era?
Every freaking Sonic game. I had them all. I played them all. I had the Knuckles one. Where you
popped it open,
the other fucking games that would use Knuckles.
You know what?
Shit out of
You know
all
what?
of them.
I have never seen another game try that.
No,
Never.
That was it. Just
Never.
Sonic did it.
Sonic and Knuckles had a cartridge that had a flip top, and you could plug other Sonic games, including Sonic Pinball, and you could play the games as Knuckles, who had the ability to climb walls, glide, run as fast as Sonic, and punch things, which made it 1,000 times better, if you ask me. Juggernaut, what are you talking Sega Genesis, man?
I actually liked Altered Beast.
Altered Beast was fun. I gotta kind of question the fact that they were always the same character, just 2 really buff blonde guys in pink and yellow Speedos.
Yeah.
And then they would transform into some kind of werewolf or were-dragon or were-bear or were-tiger.
It was so fun, though.
I know it was, but it's like, Arise, hero! And suddenly it's like, look at me, I'm giant, I'm buff, and I'm wearing just a man hammock. Woo! I mean, back in the day when I had it, I didn't think that, but nowadays I look back at that game and I'm like, okay, somebody was thinking up here and downstairs, alright? That's what they were thinking. Kitten, you want to throw anything out there?
Oh, I got a list.
Oh, she's got a list, folks. Get ready for this. Here we go.
Okay,
Woo!
let me prelude by saying this was the first game system that I ever owned. Okay? I love this thing. I used to go to school, come home every single day, get my homework done real quick, and play it until the minute I had to go to bed. I loved the Sega Genesis. So, my all-time favorite, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. All of them.
All right.
Cannot deny it.
Just to cut you off for one split second real quick.
I didn't want to cut her off.
Roadblock here says he remembers the Streets of Rage series. I remember them too.
Yeah.
You were side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and you broke open trash cans to find chicken, and when you ate it, you got healed. Yeah, that's the thing that always bothered me about that series. But continue, Kitten. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Another one of my favorites was Echo.
Echo
Which,
the
if
Dolphin.
anyone has ever played that game, you will agree with me. That was the best game for the Genesis, aside from Sonic. And you just got to play this cute, adorable little dolphin and just swim around and do adorable little things. And it frustrated me so bad because I got to so many parts that I just couldn't figure out. But I still loved the game, and I did eventually beat it, which made me super happy.
Cool. Now, unfortunately, according to my list, it's not on there, but I do agree. Echo the Dolphin and Echo the Dolphin 2, Ties of Time, were some amazing games. They were games that tried to introduce the 3D effect, because as Echo, you were literally a dolphin, but you could swim up, down, left, right, upper left. I mean, you had free reign. And at the beginning of the game, before it gets trippy, you got to admit, it did get trippy at some point.
Yeah, it did.
It was just like you were playing a literal dolphin. And I don't think I can name a game up until that point that tried that.
No.
Okay, continue. Sorry to bother you again.
No, it's fine. Arcade classics. This is where I played all of the games from the Atari. Centipede, Pong, Missile Command,
I named all of those.
Frogger, all of the old school games.
I think I named all of those.
That's where I ended up playing them. It was in a pack. It said Arcade Classics. It was one cartridge, but it was all of them.
They pretty much come out with them on every system.
Oh, yeah.
throughout
You remember the PlayStation demo discs?
Oh, yeah.
That's where I played Parappa the Rapper for the first time and only time.
Another one of my favorites.
Sorry.
Another
Sorry.
one of my favorites was Dragon's Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody ever even heard of
That one I've actually never heard of.
Dragon's Revenge was pinball.
Oh, that explains why I never heard it.
I love pinball. If you stick me in front of one of those old school arcade pinball machines, I will stay there for days and not even know what's going on around me.
Quick cut to a scene here real quick that just happened yesterday.
Hang on, yesterday.
We were
That sounds familiar. Grim?
We were celebrating the Kitten of Doom's 21st birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Woo!
while we were celebrating, we went to... It's good, don't give her that look! While we were there, we went to this little arcade that was there, and Grim must have spent a good half hour to an hour on this... What was it? The Days...
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead pinball machine. And for like the first 20 minutes, he didn't blink.
Yeah.
And I was afraid his eyes were just going to start drying up. It literally just happened.
That's the bipolar disorder, man. Everything got all trippy for a minute, and I just couldn't stop
Ding,
staring.
ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Yeah, for that whole first 20 minutes, I had no idea what the goal was.
You were
And then
just playing.
I saw things start lighting up as I hit them, and I was like, no, this has got to keep going now.
All right, that's what. So I just want to let you know that both of them have a pinball ability.
Alright, I have two more, and then I'm done with this system.
Okay.
Kid Chameleon.
Oh, Kid Chameleon.
I love being the little dragon.
In Kid Chameleon, you played as a guy who got pulled into video game world. I think was what it was called, and your power-ups were different hats, and each hat would transform you. Like you could wear a knight's helmet, become a knight with a sword who could block, and you could like if you landed on rubber blocks, you jump higher. There was a samurai. There was a dragon that breathed fire. There's a little fly guy that I love that stuck to things and was harder for enemies to hit. It was a good time.
Yep. And then the last one is Real Monsters.
Not only a good cartoon series, but a fun game, I gotta admit.
It really was.
Nickelodeon actually really does know how... Oh, and Roadblock says happy birthday, Kitten.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. But yeah, I got to admit that Nintendo, if there's anything I love about Nintendo, is that when they make a video game, they do put a lot on the table to make it good. Disney does too, to a lesser extent, but Nickelodeon knew what to do. Okay, Mister, I'm trying to make myself taller, but I'm still the size of Thumbelina. How you doing back there?
Well, some of my games have been mentioned, like Kid Chameleon was one of my favorite. Sonic, always a classic.
Oh yeah,
but my favorite was Sonic Pinball.
Sonic Pinball.
Yes.
Oh, it's good old Sonic Pinball. Once again, pinball. We gotta keep bringing pinball up. I know.
Yes.
We gotta have a pinball machine in this room.
No. When we get the new house, we'll put a pinball machine in the back. All right.
No, you gotta have a pinball machine in every room.
Hey, I'm not feeding your addiction in every room of the house. I need sleep.
We have evidence
What?
of you saying that.
What?
So when we get a house,
I know. I want one right there.
Say,
I want one pinball machine right there.
Have one.
Yeah, I want one right there. But we all have to agree on the thing it's going to be.
I said we go with like an old
That's why you
classic
just gotta get every pinball machine.
No, not to me. When I was at Amore's, they had a Harley Davidson one that played old rock when you played it, like Highway to Hell and shit like that. We can have that one. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. But we can have that one, okay? I'm willing to flow with that one. All right. If everyone's cool with that one, we can go with that one. All right. Coming back. Oh, Sonic Pinball was the shit. Okay, so Roadblock.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so you got one score there. For me, Sega was something that I spent a lot of time at my grandparents playing as well as my house. So I played games like Aladdin, which was a platformer where you swung a sword and threw apples.
Hold up, time out. Did you let Necro finish?
Yeah, the only one to talk about one.
Oh, sorry.
Sonic Pinball, which we all started going on the trip about getting a pinball machine.
Yeah, I thought there was more.
Well, actually, the thing about Sonic Pinball was that it was multiple levels.
I was gonna say most of my games were mentioned by everybody else, so why?
Yeah, especially your list, which put on a whole bunch of good games.
Hey,
Yeah.
they're good games.
So Aladdin was a side scroller. You slash a sword, you threw apples. There was this one part that sucked where you were going through the Cave of Wonders on a carpet, trying to dodge things from killing you. I died so many times, I almost rage quit. At age 8, I'm rage quitting at a game already. I can't tell you how many times I've broken a Genesis controller.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo controllers are meant to last, but I used to whip Genesis controllers like they were boomerangs. Oh! Yeah, they did. I wrote Earthworm Jim wrong. I can't believe I wrote it wrong. I literally was thinking it, but I typed G-Y-M instead of J-I-M. So I'm not talking about pumping iron here.
That would be interesting, though, if it was an Earthworm Jim. Could you imagine all them buff Earth?
No, I don't want to think that. That's terrifying.
Seriously, that's like creating.
That's how horror movies start.
That's how Tremors started.
Yeah, there it is. They were just earthworms at first, but then they went to the Y.
They decided to overhear. They went back, or they went into the future, and that's where they heard Kyle talking about their gym, and then they went back to the past. And
the Earthworm Jim.
Come down to the Earthworm Jim, where you can be buff as hell.
But Earthworm Jim, you played as Earthworm Jim. The soil he did crawl, Earthworm Jim. A super suit did fall. He was just a worm eating dirt until a super suit landed on him, and he gained the ability to use his head as a whip. He could hang on wires with it and slide down them. He had a power gun that could have all kinds of upgrades, and he was trying to save his beautiful princess from Queen, Slug for a Butt.
One of the only TV series that actually turned out to be a kick-ass video game.
Actually, yeah. I do believe the cartoon series came before the game. I want to say that.
I remember watching it when I was a little kid, and then out of nowhere, my mom brings home a fucking game because she knew me and my brother were obsessed with the TV show.
Then there's Shining Force 2.
Ooh.
Shining Force 2 was a top-down strategy game. It was like the first Final Fantasy Tactics-like game. You moved your character along the map. They had a certain range that they could attack with. Spells, healing. It was such a great game. Fun storyline. It was really cool, and as far as Genesis games go, it was really kind of how should I say this? It was really a game that really pushed the envelope as far as how much the system could do. Next up, Zero Tolerance. Zero Tolerance, oh my goodness. It was a Genesis first-person shooter.
Oh, yeah.
You're going from level to level, collecting guns and shooting aliens that could be on the ceiling, the floor, zombies. It was like they were trying to make Doom for the system. My dad actually had a big block, I believe it was from his architecture, and he had the grids, and he literally had every map from the. When you start off at the space station, you land on Earth. He had every place on the map marked where the enemies would spawn, where items were, where the doors and keys were. It was amazing. He had it. Boom! Which stage are you on? Got it right here. There's an enemy right behind that door. Shoot now, and he had it to the T. Last but not least, another one that was really strange, but I loved it, was Home Alone. Home Alone was you went from house to house as Kevin, I guess you could say his name was. I think it was the name.
Yeah.
And you set up traps for the burglars, like you put like ice on the floor or like tacks or explosives, and you had like different weapons you could shoot them with, like pop guns and stuff like that. And your job was to drive them away from every house in the neighborhood so they wouldn't kidnap, and you had to wait 20 minutes for the police to show up. Or 40 minutes in hard mode. It was great. Alright, now the game we should have gone to first, but we went to last. Jared.
What?
Let's jump to the Game Boy. The brick! My Game Boy, which I still have, by the way. What a system. It had a ton of games. This is another one I had difficulty picking out. But, as usual, let's start. Graham, any Game Boy games, remember?
I actually never really played all that much Game Boy. I played like the Advance and all those
Okay.
ones, but we're getting to those ones later, you said anyway, so...
In case you guys didn't know, Grim and Kitten are way younger than I am, so we're not in the same age group when it comes to which games we have. Like I said, they're both 21, so like, I have 12 years on them, alright? I've been playing games 12 years longer than them.
I'm glad you feel that I am so young.
Hey, there's a rule when you're around KaijuK. If you're within 300 meters of me, you're automatically 21 unless you're younger. Boom. Juggernaut Jared, you 21-year-old bastard, you're next.
Pokemon games.
There was only three Pokemon games on the system, but I agree with you. There was Pokemon Red, there was Pokemon Yellow, and then there was Pokemon Blue. I owned Pokemon Blue, and in Pokemon Yellow, you cheated. Because you had a Pikachu that could learn moves that he can learn in no other game.
I owned 03.
What?
I owned 03.
I only ever owned Blue, but I played Yellow once I got an emulator. Kitten, Game Boy, go.
Never played it.
Gotcha. Nick, Game Boy, go.
I'm gonna have to agree with the Pokemon games. I never really touched anything else for it because that's what I got it for.
All right, time for me to bring up the actual weapons here. All right, the Game Boy was was the first handheld out there, unless you count Tiger Electronics once again, which I don't.
No.
Or those little machines where you had the water in it, and you pushed buttons to squirt rings up.
Oh yeah.
Those were actually more fun than the Tiger handhelds. You could actually drain a little bit of water out to make it more difficult. But well, I have to agree with him when he says Pokemon Blue. Pokemon Blue was great. Team Bulbasaur all the way.
Fuck him.
Oh, screw you. You were Team Squirtle. I was better than you.
Squirtle.
Squirtle.
You'll get no Charmander lovers in this room,
In
hopefully.
Yellow, you can only say that.
Hey.
You didn't start with a Pikachu.
I felt there'd be some disturbance in the forest.
No.
Pikachu was so much more badass, but he's way overplayed and everybody likes him.
No,
Yes.
no, no.
He's adorable and he throws lightning.
First off,
Nobody liked Charmander, alright, so he's my boy. I back that dude up all day.
First
I
off,
do not care.
And
He
now
turns
we
into a big-ass
see
flying
the
dragon.
war that we...
first off, let me throw my
Oh,
input
no.
here. Most motherfuckers that like Pikachu never
Oh, boy.
played Yellow, which made the most badass Pikachu that will put ashes to shame any fucking day of the week.
How you guys doing?
And that's the only reason why Pikachu is so popular is because of that fucking pansy that would never turn him into a
You
Raichu.
guys having a good time?
How's it going, Brandon?
We all cool here?
Brandon
Are we,
commented.
are we done having this little war here?
At the moment.
So,
Charmander was way better.
oh god.
No, not to Yellow Pikachu. Yellow Pikachu will beat the fuck out of anybody.
We'll be back.
Take your fucking Zapdos, fucking whoop its ass.
We'll be back after these messages.
We have to add a poll to this.
Yeah. It's too late. I can't add one.
Let us know in the comments what your favorite Pokemon is.
Oh, there's over 700 of them now.
Out of the
Charmander.
original 4.
Snorlax.
Are you
Snorlax.
Are you
That was my
Out of
man.
the original 150, we'll put it that way. Out of the original 150, let us know what your favorite.
Hi.
I thought Red's Pikachu was the best. Oh, you could just go to the deepest pits of hell there, Roadblock. So anyways, as I was trying to say before, this horrible monstrosity of game popped out. We all have our own teams. We're not going to be playing the Twilight game here, all right? So next up for me was The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. I just thought this was an amazing game, to be honest with you. Had a great storyline, had a great amount of levels. It was actually really cool to see somebody else trying to reinvent Link. After what you see, Legend of Zelda 2 did really good overseas. It just did not do good here. It was a horrible game. Angry Video Game Nerd, if you guys want to go watch this episode, trust me, it's amazing. He puts it to shame in ways I couldn't. But it was a horrible game, it was stupid, and I'm done with talking about it. So what they did is when the Game Boy came out, they invented another top-down one. And this one was really cool. Yeah, you got to... there was an owl that was trying to tell you how to do things. Really cool level design. The first time you see the hook shot.
Where the owl came from.
Yeah, that was him originally. And then
They brought him back for...
they brought him back in every substantial game afterwards. If he wasn't actually in the game, there was a statue of him somewhere. Yeah. So we had that. It was so cool to play that game. I can't give it enough credit. I believe the Rock's feather came from it too, so you could actually jump. It was the first Zelda game where Link could jump.
What should I call it? I never actually played the game myself because my brother would never let me, but I watched him play it several times and it looked pretty cool. I think he was just jealous because of me being one without him ever being into this game.
Yes, we know that, man. And when he eventually sees these videos and sees how many times you've mentioned that, he's going to harm you.
Love you, Eric.
Then there came a cutesy one, Kirby's Dream Land 2.
Yes.
In Kirby's Dream Land 2, you had Kirby's special abilities, but wait, there was more. Kirby had 3 new allies to join him. I don't remember what their name is. I remember that the hamster's name was Rocky. You could ride on a bipedal hamster with little booties, and he could eat and gain his own powers. Then there was an owl, and he clutched you with his razor-sharp talons, and I'm pretty sure caused damage to Kirby, and he could gain his own powers too. And then there was the fish that was the worst out of them all, and he ate Kirby, and Kirby sat in his mouth, and even he gained powers. It was like Kirby, and then it went, you know what, that's just not good enough, we're going to give him animal companions. It works, but I don't think it came out with many more until Kirby's Dream Land 3. We'll talk about that one later, though. So next was an addiction that I'm no longer allowed to own in the house. These 2 addictions will come back later, but I'll talk about the first one. The very first Harvest Moon game. I lost several summers to this game.
You're not allowed to speak of it either.
Just like the Blaster Master... Shut up! Just like the Blaster Master novel, which was actually a game, but the novel was awesome. I lost so many hours to this bloody game, just seeing how many crops I could harvest. Oh wait, I forgot to brush the cow. Oh no, wait, I forgot to feed the chickens. I gotta run to town real quick. And I'll be like, I'll only play for 5 more minutes. And now the sun's out, and my mom's coming upstairs to take me to school. And I should not be playing this game anymore. Last but not least, a rare gem in the series. And that would be Metroid 2.
Ah, yes.
Metroid 2 came out for the Game Boy. It was a little green. It was really dark, hard to see, but your whole point was to go through this entire planet and kill every Metroid. This time, Mother Brain isn't the enemy. It's this giant Mother Metroid that looks nothing like them. The Metroids start off looking like little jellyfish with teeth, and then they turn into lizards that jump around, and then they turn into fat lizards that can't jump around, and then they turn into a turtle with a mouth that can eat you and breathe plasma. I don't know how they evolved from flying to not being able to go anywhere very fast, but they do.
It's like Tremors in reverse.
Yeah, it's like Tremors, where you get the best ones at first, and then it just gets progressively worse. So, another tough one, and this is another game system where I could go on a list of just the games I didn't like, and it would be shorter lists. So we're going to go with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the SNES, if you will. This was actually a rare system that actually had very few poor games come out for it. It even came out with a better Excite Bike. It was just an all-around great system, and it came out with the Super Game Boy, allowing you to play Game Boy games on the Super Nintendo, which really didn't give a reason for you to have a Game Boy. So, Graham, you remember
Other than that, it could take a bullet for you.
Yeah, with the Game Boy at the freaking Nintendo Hall of Fame. Took a bomb for some guy. It's still playing the Zelda game. Tetris
Nokia
game.
must have made it.
Huh?
Nokia must have made it. Nokia phones.
Yeah? What about him?
I'm just saying they must have made it because they're like indestructible too.
Oh, okay. I don't know Nokia phones. My first cell phone was a sat phone. It took 8 D-cell batteries to run, and I could club an elk to death with it and have a crystal clear conversation with you at the same time.
Sounds like a Nokia.
It was like this.
Sounds
big.
like a note.
It could have been. It could have been. It could have been made by Nokia for the military. I don't know. So, Grin, SNES. Any SNES games you liked?
Oh shit! There were a little bit. I liked playing Zelda, Link to the Past.
Great
and then,
game.
There was Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. You're right.
Where you met Yoshi for the first time and found out that sacrificing an animal companion to get you into a higher jump was an okay thing.
Yeah.
I still hate that game for that. There were certain levels that you could not beat in the Star World without sacrificing Yoshi.
That's why you get the purple one that flies whenever he eats anything.
Yep.
You know?
So, sorry to stop you there.
That was pretty much it. No, Mario Kart. I played a little bit of that.
Mario Kart. Awesome.
First Mario Kart.
Gave me road rage at the age of 5. It was wonderful.
He was already telling people to get the fuck off the road at age 5. Grand Theft Auto's got nothing on Mario Kart.
That's why he doesn't have his license now.
Oh, and the shots are fired.
I would
Come
always
on.
yell at my mom and tell her, "No, listen, get up underneath his ass, fucking
Put him into the wall and keep driving.
Keep going.
Where's your turtle shell and shoot at him?
Just drive through past
I
somebody and
told
whip
you
it.
to stop back at the corner. There was a turtle shell.
Just hit somebody with a turtle shell while driving by.
Smash the windshield out.
Yeah, you think Grand Theft Auto was violent? Just wait till you see the kids who grew up playing freaking Super Mario Kart.
We'll throw a fucking banana at you.
Yeah,
Banana.
I'll just drive by with a taser and shoot it in the window and shock you like a lightning bolt.
I'll get a lightning bolt. All over.
Wait until I get the triple shot that homes in on you.
I like the Donkey Kong Country series.
Oh,
yeah.
an amazing series.
I forgot about that.
I was always a big fan of 3, even though I thought the idea of Baby Kong was stupid. He was just a big
love
monkey
2.
in a onesie.
I love 2 the most.
But you gotta give 1 some credit. 1 had
yeah.
some amazing stages until you got to the minecart stages.
Yeah.
And then it could just go eat the biggest of tards.
I always liked the minecart stages. There was always that first minecart stage that you get to. If you jump right off the fucking edge, right at the right angle, it shoots you with a cannon all the way to the end of the level.
Roadblock says Mario Kart destroyed friendships. I gotta agree.
Yes,
it was
did.
the very
And
first
it
friendship
still-
breaker.
It still does destroy friendships.
Oh.
No, that was not the first friendship breaker.
What was your first friendship breaker?
Monopoly.
Well,
We're talking video games.
not games.
Yeah, we're not talking Candyland or anything like that, alright?
They didn't come out with a freaking game on system for Monopoly.
Actually, they had Monopoly on the NES.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
We didn't have it, so I know that much.
I believe they also had Candyland, Clue, and Risk.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways,
Go ahead.
there's one more friendship destroyer on this list. We'll be bringing it up once we reach the game,
Oh,
the
yeah.
N64. Or was it the GameCube that had it first? We'll find out.
no, I think this is 64.
Alright, so, popping next, I only played up to the 2 Donkey Kong countries. I never played 3. You weren't missing much. Donkey Kong 3 just had a bit more graphic, and basically it was a fat Diddy Kong.
I was gonna say somewhat of a better stage selection too.
Yeah, but I mean, think it had Dixie Kong from 2, and then it had the baby that basically rolled like Diddy Kong did. That's
Yeah.
basically the difference. Kitten.
Well, for me, obviously, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Yes.
Can never deny any of the Zelda games. That was an amazing
I can.
series.
2 didn't exist.
What?
I will make a petition today to capture every copy of Zelda 2 and destroy it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Side
two suck.
scroller Legend of Zelda, you can bite me.
Yeah.
Please
two
continue.
suck.
Please continue, though.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Please
well,
continue.
I never heard of that. So, anyway, and then the other one, Kirby Superstar.
Oh, yes, Kirby Superstar, where you could play multiple Kirby games in the Kirby channel.
Rainbow Road.
And they all had basically the same idea. Kirby eats things, gains new powers, including one of my personal favorites, Illusion. Where you could literally have Kirby split into 2, create an orb that he couldn't be hurt in, and create a magical wand attack that reflected ranged attacks.
Yes.
Thank you, Kirby, for never bringing it back again.
Asshole.
Fuck you, Kirby. Anyways,
2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2.
Well, I'm gonna go with Excite Bike 2.
Well, yes, or Super Excite Bike.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger was an amazing game. Unfortunately, I'm not Team Chrono Trigger. I'm the other team. You'll find out later.
I'm also gonna throw Final Fantasy 6 in there.
Oh, no. Remember, Americanization, Final Fantasy 3.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it was 3 here, but it was 6 where everywhere else it was supposed to be.
Sorry, forgot. It's 3. We're stupid here. But go on, Kyle.
Well, the best part about it is my list has been shot down, basically, because you guys have mentioned most of the games that were on my list. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, one of the greatest Legend of Zeldas to date. In fact, I still hold it as the greatest. I know a lot of people like to say Ocarina of Time was, but trust me, it has nothing on Super Legend of Zelda.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love Link to the Past. And I'll put that above Ocarina of Time, which I do believe was my favorite.
With the whale!
I like Wind Waker better.
Jump, the whale.
But we're not there yet.
I know.
Don't worry, it's on the list, though.
I know.
The other thing was we also mentioned Super Mario World, which I loved. I especially loved the name of the stages. Like the Chocolate Ghost House, or the Donut Plains, the Ice Cream Landing. It was great. Everything was food. I was always hungry playing that game.
It's
for
like
some reason.
Candyland on steroids.
Game producers were hungry.
Yeah, that's how it was made. How do we name the stages? Man, I'm hungry. I could go for a donut, some vanilla ice cream. Keep going. We're writing them down.
What else are you hungry for? How much did you smoke?
Yeah. The Smoky Ring Plateau. Yeah. Mamma mia. But then there was the game that was mentioned earlier, which is Final Fantasy 3. Now, a lot of people like to say that 6. I even have it mentioned in parentheses 6. Final Fantasy 3 was an amazing game. The storyline was great. The battle system was great. The character development was great. Chrono Trigger had music. All right, it had better graphics, but it was just a musical that you could play. And you could just go out and buy the CD and play it while playing Final Fantasy 3 Slicks and have a better game. I'm sorry for all you Chrono Trigger fans out there that think it's the better game, but your sequel was Chrono Cross, which sucked ass, and ours was Final Fantasy 7.
Which
they're making a remake of.
No, they've already made the remake, and now they're remaking the remake.
Roadblock.
What?
Yeah, they made it for the PC as the remake, and now they're making the super graphic one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, I only heard about the one they're making for PS4.
And mind you, I believe the remake, they're actually bringing in what they did over in Japan and have a 4th disc. Well, which makes Sephiroth...
Well, there are no discs. It's just going to be one game. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But makes Sephiroth a final playable character in your team, and you actually go up against the real villain that the Japanese originally had you.
Plus, Eris gets revived. So sorry to break it, Jared. Keep going.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Eris was
that
never...
part made me fucking cry, man.
Right here. But we're not talking about PlayStation yet. Jared.
Yeah, we're back.
Sorry.
Roadblock was saying
back.
Super Mario RPG.
I can't believe I forgot to mark that down. Yes, Super Mario RPG, which I actually made a song for. One of the greatest RPGs ever. I'd say right behind the game I'm going to mention next. But it's so cute. The only thing I hated about it was that Luigi was originally going to be a playable character, and they just took him out. You also got to see characters like Gino and Malo, who are never seen again. Gino was a living puppet that could shoot lasers out of his hands, and Malo was a cloud guy that could actually summon like hurricanes and stuff when he cried. And you never see them again after that. So, one of the games that was really big in me, and probably one of my favorite games, and I'm going to do a Let's Play on it, I'm just not going to monetize it so Nintendo doesn't get shit for it, is Earthbound. Earthbound was a cutesy RPG where you played as a 10-year-old boy, a 9-year-old girl, another 10-year-old boy, and a question mark aged boy, through a world of fighting against deranged hippies, rabid dogs, chairs with table manners, or bad table manners, disco clowns, and you are healed by items like soda pop, hamburgers, medicine, and your weapons were baseball bats, fireworks, frying pans. I really can't say enough about this game, just that I'm going to be doing a Let's Play on it so everybody can see how fun it is. Last but not least, I'm a big fan of the Metroid series. I know I didn't mention it back in Nintendo, but Super Metroid, the best Metroid game ever. And the remake that we almost got until Nintendo shot it down because they didn't want any competition.
Roadblocks like Earthbound.
Damn straight. Okay, so from there we're going to move into a lesser known. By the way, Roblox, cool. I love it. I love the game. What we got going up next is the Game Gear. 6 batteries to give you 4 hours of game life. Yeah, but the Game Gear was Sega's attempt at beating the Game Boy. It didn't work, but it was still a great system. It was about yay big. It weighed about 8 pounds when you had all the batteries in it. If you put it in a sock, it was basically a mace. You could kill a man with it, and it would continue playing where it left off.
Wonderful.
I'm just going to throw my story in here quick. I know I'm throwing out of rotations, but I never played the Game Gear because my brother literally bet me with it. So, yeah.
There you go. So anybody have a Game Gear story?
I only played, shit. What the hell was that, actually? Yeah, that was Sonic.
Sonic?
Yeah, I only played Sonic on it. I know I had the X-Men game for it, but I never really played much of that. Mainly, if I had a chance to play it, my older brother would see me going to play it, and
immediately take it from you.
Yeah, he played that, the trump card. Oh, well, he's always playing it, so come on, Dad.
This is why I'm glad I don't have siblings.
And then I always got bitched out. Whoa, you have been playing it forever now. And it was 5 minutes.
Well, if we're going to talk stories, the Game Gear is the only system that I can say that my mother and sister would fight me to play.
We just weren't there all the time.
Alright, my mom and sister would literally fight me to play this game.
You can't
Jared, what are you bringing up?
Only one that I played was Echo.
Echo the Dolphin, which was basically a port from the Sega, but still a great game.
Never played it. Never heard of it.
Hey, at least you never got bet with it.
So what game did you enjoy other than Missing Teeth Simulator 3000?
None, because as I said, I never played it.
Alright.
And actually, my brother broke it on me. So, you know, literally on me.
Time to rescue the system once again. The Game Gear had a lot of them, and yes, Echo the Dolphin was mentioned. It also had a very rare game. It was the only time I think I can remember where Nintendo actually allowed Sega to share a game title with them. They actually had a version of Mega Man. It wasn't the original Mega Man, but it had really awesome music, really fun graphics, gameplay, and of course Napalm Man, which was basically the first time I ever remember hearing a Mega Man character that literally was meant for one thing and one thing only, and that was literally fire everywhere. Every other Mega Man character to that point had a purpose. They were archaeologists, or they worked at smelting factories, or in the sewers. But no, Napalm Man had missile launchers and was assigned in combat. He had tank treads and fired missiles. It was awesome. Ooh. Next up on the list is Shining Force Sword of KaijuK. Now, I noticed that I know that I didn't mention it in Sega, but there was a Shining Force 2 in Sega that was awesome. But Shining Force Sword of KaijuK was so much better. The game involved, once again, it was a top-down. I did mention Shining Force 2. Are you guys done? Are you guys done killing each other? Get them now. Anyways, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by what's going on back here. Shining Force Sword of KaijuK, another great one. You could bring it anywhere, which kind of made it better than Shining Force 2, because I hated the fact that I always had... Shining Force had a crappy save system where you could only save when you were in town. But with the Game Gear, you could soft reset it, and it would hold the game's memory so you could turn it back on. Because it knew it would drain the batteries, so if it sensed the batteries going out, it would stop the game and it would hold its progress there as long as you didn't pull the cartridge out.
Oh, no shit.
It was fun.
I didn't even know I had that feature.
Not a lot of people did. Another one of my favorite games. Now, I never had Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for it, but we got the one that came with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm sorry to say it, but the Sonic games for the Game Gear were fucking amazing. Great music, and really cutesy, great graphics. Oh, yeah. The last one on the list that I want to bring up is a game called Zool. Ninja of the Ninth Dimension. NTH, Ninth. This was a side-scroller, jump-around, beat-em-up where you went through worlds such as Candyland, Factoryland, Iceland. It was basically, I feel it was their attempt at making a Super Mario for the Sega. So it had a lot of the same ideas to it. Or for the Game Gear, rather. Okay, now we're gonna skip over the Sega CD because,
Yeah.
we're just gonna skip over it. We're gonna go to a system that was near and dear to my heart, but I actually never owned it. I would have to go over friends' houses to play it because at the time we were going through hardships. So this is the Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn was a great system that came along right after Sega CD and just kind of like swept up the pieces that were the Sega CD and said, "We're back." Does anyone have any games they remember from the Sega Saturn?
Never played it.
X-Men.
X-Men for the Sega Saturn was fun. So I'll go through a couple of them. There was Albert Odyssey. It was like a Zelda clone, basically.
Yeah.
But a lot more fun and really awesome kick-ass music. There was Croc, Legend of the Gobos.
Oh, yes.
You played as Croc, who was this little anthropomorphic crocodile who had one tooth, a backpack, and I believe he was wearing swimming trunks. It's been a while since I played the game.
Cute.
And you attacked by either jumping on enemies or spinning in a circle and tapping your tail, but if you spun around too much, you got dizzy. And the point of the game was you were supposed to go from stage to stage and collect the Gobos, which were these little brown, black, they were various colors, fur balls that had eyes, sometimes they were like googly eyes, and little, like, Bigfoot feet. And your job was to go from stage to stage and collect them all. And the boss fights were great. It was a fun game. I won't go into it anymore. Shining Force 2, if you heard about my other Shining Forces, you basically get the same thing. Upgraded graphics, actually get cutscenes for a change, and music that would literally put some of the other games on this list to shame. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. Tactics Ogre came out originally on the Super Nintendo, and I wasn't a fan. Your character development was, if you killed enough of this character, you could change into that class. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together actually lets you buy classes. I believe that's how it was played. So you could go out and buy the Knight class rather than go beat a bunch of Knights to death. You could go buy Hawkmen so you could fly around with a Hawkman. And it was just great. You could equip multiple weapons like whips, spears, guns, bows and arrows, different spells that you could equip as well. It was all about the equipping. But it had a great storyline, great gameplay. I keep saying this, of course, because that's how these games were back then. The graphics weren't realistic. They were childish. You didn't get really good graphics, but for the time, they were serious stories, serious plots, and characters did die, which was really a shock to a lot of people. Let's not talk about the fact that in the original Mario was basically a mass-murdering psychopath because the mushroom people had been turned into blocks, and you spend a good portion of the game punching through blocks. You're basically trying to commit genocide. And I'm pretty sure those little mushrooms that were running away were actually the babies trying to escape, and Mario just ate them. But anyways, last but not least, one of the flagship games for it was a game called Panzer Dragon.
Yeah.
Panzer Dragon was kind of a over-the-shoulder 3D flight shooter. It was a rail shooter, but you play as a fucking dragon, and you went around breathing fire and getting upgrades, and you fought other dragons, and you fought angels and demons and tanks and the undead, and basically everything you can imagine fighting, you fought. I'm pretty sure if you look close enough, you probably fought against Hitler. Don't quote me on that one. I'm not going to go through the game and find out. If somebody wants to send me a Sega Saturn and Panzer Dragon, I'll go through it and find out. So that being said, there were a couple systems that came between these, but let's get over to the only system that exists that I feel might have been, if not was, a challenge for the Super Nintendo. And it happened years after the Super Nintendo. Let's talk about Nintendo's biggest failing, the inability for them to join up with the Sony PlayStation. Because discs are for suckers.
4-year difference.
Indeed, 4 different years, and the PlayStation still holds out as probably the only game system I'd say was a threat to the Super Nintendo. And that's talking about all the systems that still exist. So, let's get right into this with the PlayStation. Grim, any PlayStation games you remember?
Shit. I played Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation, which was the best of the Final Fantasy games.
Gotcha, Cody.
No, that didn't come out until PS2.
Ah.
Not Final Fantasy VII, the one I'm thinking of. Obviously.
How you doing, huh?
But
Well, yes, it has to start with a G and has 2 other words.
no, I was gonna say Final Fantasy X.
That came out for the PS2.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Cody
Which made me hate Final Fantasy for a very long time, and I didn't want to play it ever again because I thought they were going to have nothing but shitty games.
Yeah, 8 was kind of a crap game.
Yeah, I played Tekken 5 for the PlayStation. But let's see, Resident Evil. I did the director's cut for that. I didn't play the remake, the actual game until.
Oh, they've remade Resident Evil so many times. They're like on their 10th remake right now. But hang on. So speaking of the Mario series, real quick, Roadblock mentions. Let's just say that for the whole game, Mario was on one massive trip. It's a story about acid. So just continue. I'm sorry, I had to bring that up.
It definitely is.
I love when Roadblock watches our videos. I really do. I do.
We'll see what else. Fucking.
Now we're getting to the systems that he actually knows, folks. So we're actually going to pick up here.
Possibly.
We're getting to the systems that he knows, and we're getting to the systems that I start dying off in. So.
Shit, I can't remember any of my PlayStation games now.
Well, remember, GTA did come out on the PlayStation.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
All right.
Grand Theft Auto did come out. I believe 2 came out on it as well. I believe 3 came out on the PS2. I can't remember 100%.
I believe that's how.
No, I didn't start playing until PS2.
Well,
Yeah, but PS1
You'll be able to remember better if you actually did your homework.
Here we go.
I didn't
Just saying.
really play all that many games on the PlayStation. That was another system my brother had full control of. Whenever I wanted to play, it was, oh no, you've been playing too long, let your brother play. Even though I was on it for 5 freaking minutes.
Yeah, and now you play for 3 days straight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes you have to build things in Minecraft. That takes 3 days.
Next time on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Will Grimm and Kitten of Doom.
No, it's not Days of Our Lives. It's the Monsters of Lives.
Next on the Monsters of Life.
No.
Will Grimm and Kitten be able to come from this breakup of video games, or is this the final straw?
Oh, God.
With the
We're
sad
the
phone.
Addams Family.
No, the Addams Family was the one family I wanted to live next to. I want the Addams Family to the right of me. I want the Beverly Hillbillies to the left of me. That's my ideal neighborhood right there.
That's their ideal neighborhood.
Because if I'm ever in trouble, the Addams will give me money, and if it's something else, the Hillbillies got my back. They got no problem bringing out guns. In fact, that's all they do.
I want the Monsters also to live across the street from me.
I don't know. With how Herman drove, now he'd probably put a car right through your freaking door. But sorry.
Dino Crisis.
Oh,
That
yes.
was a really good one.
Oh, Dino Crisis was amazing.
I played that one through and got every alternate ending. Unlike what I did with Resident Evil, which I'm actually, sadly enough, starting to work on now.
Well, don't worry. If you wait a few more months for the new PlayStation system to come out, they've already talked about the first game that's coming out is the reboot of the original with better graphics, sound, and voice acting.
Oh, God.
And seamless, this is the best part, seamless cutscenes. So it's not going to stop and then go to the cutscene. So when you open up a door, so when you open up a door, it's not the picture of the door, and then it opens, and then you just like get sucked into it.
Yeah.
So Juggernaut, before we don't stop.
I've never really played the PlayStation 1.
That's fine with you. Moving on to the Kitten of Doom over here.
Never played it.
Okay, Necro.
Holy shit. Okay, well, I'm in pain.
And assaulted by a Cody.
Cody attack.
Anyway, back to what I was going to say. I'm going to throw out Rayman.
Rayman was fun.
Oh, yes. Rayman was an amazing game back in the day. Also, I loved the first Grand Theft Auto 1, where it was literally just you stealing cars.
It was also top-down, which was the best part. Now, there were quests in it, but let's face facts.
For the most
You
part,
put the code in, you got yourself unlimited ammunition, and then you just blew up cars until the cops showed up, and then you blew up cops. That's how you played the original GTA.
What should I call it? There was also Siphon Filter.
Nice,
Love
good
that game. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear!
I believe 1 and 2 were on it.
No, 2 came out for the PlayStation 2, I believe.
Okay. I thought it was through that one.
Well, actually, the original Metal Gear came out for the Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to get real technical. And if you want to, folks, look up a guy named Kikoskia. I believe it's KaiKoSKIA. He played the entire NES version. He's an amazing Brit who deserves more credit than he gets.
Oh, let's see. Was Turok on there? No.
No, Turok was for the next system we're talking about.
Yes.
Well, after my shame.
Well, I know that they also started making them for the PlayStation, but I think that was
two.
On. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be about it.
All right. So.
Oh wait, Spyro.
Spyro the Dragon. I was waiting for you to bring up Spyro. This man is a Spyro master. You put him in front of a Spyro game, you give him 5 minutes, he'll be going through stages like he's like nothing.
Spyro.
Now, the Final Fantasy VII game was the original game I played. I remember the day. My dad put the presents in different boxes. And unfortunately, before I got to the PlayStation or the game, I opened up the box with the strategy guide in it. And I died. At that point, my dad has a recorder where I am literally just shredding boxes as if I'm suddenly the Hulk looking for a sandwich and I'm hungry. Just tearing things open until I finally got it. My mom, dad, and myself spent 13 straight hours playing that game.
Nice.
It got to the point where my dad goes, "Is it bedtime yet?" My mom went 2 more hours.
I want to tell a funny story. This was back.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your facial hair. Continue.
Ah, burn.
Back in the
Speaking of burn,
NES time.
wow, really?
Sorry, but your story kind of remembered. I was only 1 at the time, but my parents bought my brother the NES. But here they wrapped up the box and everything. When my brother went to unwrap it and open up the box, it wasn't in there. Here, 2 nights ago, they decided to open it up and start playing it. It was already plugged in and on.
It was already in the system box. So the PlayStation was great. Final Fantasy VII, the very first game I played, and let me tell you something. To this day, one of the best Final Fantasies ever. No, it still can't compare to 6 though, but it was the first game I ever played where I actually cried. I will admit it. I cried when Aeris was stabbed through the stomach.
Oh, yeah.
I also got really upset when we found out that, before this point, of course, Aeris had been run over by a steamroller monster that probably weighed a good 30 or 40 tons.
Yeah.
Been set on fire, crushed beneath a giant ancient demon statue, poisoned, turned into a toad, turned to stone, struck with lightning, fire, ice, everything. Died repeatedly and was able to be brought back by a Phoenix Down. But no, we can't use a Phoenix Down after she's been stabbed through the stomach, and we can't use a soft, or I think it was a Maiden's Kiss, maybe that was what it was, to cure Naniki or Red 13's father of being petrified. I even have spells that can cure this shit. I had Asuna in full life at this point. I can bring them back, but no, let's dump her into the water. And if you guys want to see something really chilling, I had the theory before, but the game theorist himself said and proved that Aeris was still alive when he dropped her in the water. Because guess what? Dead bodies don't sink.
Nope.
They float. So Aeris sank. She was still alive. She was paralyzed. He let her drown. Let that one sit in your chest for a little while, folks. But that's just how they do games over in Japan. Speaking of Final Fantasy, there was also Final Fantasy Tactics, which to this day had one of the most chilling storylines I've ever heard, involving betrayal, family lines, family bloodlines, lust, everything. It was just a very heart-wrenching story with great gameplay, multiple character classes. You could actually have enemies on your team. I can't say enough good things for it. The gameplay was solid. The system was great. The storyline was heartbreaking. To another game that was also heartbreaking, Xenogears. You'll notice I have a lot of RPGs on this list. There's a reason. This was the system that made it some of the best RPGs ever. Xenogears was 1 part RPG, 1 part fighting game. When you used your attacks in this game, rather than just casting spells, you could also use different button combinations. And your character would run up and like do a backhand and then a side kick and then like a thrust to the throat and like an axe hammer, or just whip the crap out of somebody, shoot them with a gun, beat them with a stick, and you got to control these combos. Forget Killer Instinct's combo breakers. This is where the game really kicked up. Parasite Eve, if you guys have seen any of my lists, any of my top 10 lists, you'll know that Parasite Eve has won many of them. One of the most important things that was there... Oh, our chat block is stopped. I apologize to anyone who doesn't know this, that our chat is currently stopped, unless Jared can see more. Jared, what's the last one that you had?
The one that I typed about us being on longer than normal tonight.
Okay, we're sorry about that, folks, but we're almost done. Well, maybe almost is a tough one to see. We might have to make this a two-parter. But yeah, Parasite Eve, badass Brooklyn cop, female. She's not wearing dresses. She's kicking ass and taking names. She ain't using a frying pan. She's blasting motherfuckers in the face with shotguns, machine guns, rocket launchers, alien magic. You know it. You love it. Ea Brea. Oh yeah, my waifu for life. Last but not least was a weird one. It's called Treasures of the Deep. And the Treasures of the Deep is a game where you play in a submarine. Well, multiple submarines. You get to buy bigger and better ones. And you go through all these really well put out and well thought out locations looking for treasure, fighting ancient evils like the Kraken or the Plesiosaur. You fight all kinds of really cool enemies, giant crocodiles, and the whole time you're just... Not much of a story behind it other than you're collecting treasure. Kind of makes Tomb Raider look pretty sad as far as I'm considered. Now for one that I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's played, The Virtual Boy.
No, I've played it.
You've played The Virtual Boy? How do you feel about the red on black screen?
Only one game. I do not recall what the game was. I tried looking it up, could not find it. You know, so I apologize for that, but I thought it was a pretty cool deal. I mean, I was a little kid when it came out. You know, my cousin ended up having it, so I only played it a handful of times with him. It was pretty cool though. It was a nice idea. I kind of wish they like expanded on that immediately instead of what they're doing now with the, oh well, you could play the game, just stick your phone in this thing and put it around your face.
Don't get me started with those. Don't get me started with those.
Have some class.
Juggernaut, any Virtual Boy game stories?
Nope.
The Virtual Boy was a piece of crap. I'm going to be the first one to admit it. There were some interesting games on it. For instance, Wario Land. I think that's the first time you ever met Wario. He was just a fat, obnoxious version of Mario who likes to run into things. In later series, he gained power from flicking boogers and farting too, but this was where he was still classy. Telro Boxer was fun when I actually broke the stand and had to hold it on with a headband that I basically made out of duct tape. But in the game, you actually got to box at a robot, or I think there was like 10 of them total. But the game was actually, like, there were points where I'd actually be, like, trying to dodge punches by leaning back. That never worked, by the way. And then 3D Tetris was always fun. All the Tetris games are fun. And then there was Mario Tennis, which was the one it started with in my eye, which was basically just running back and forth and smacking a ball. Not much to say there. The Nintendo 64.
I was gonna say, do we want to make it a two-parter?
Well, that's up to you guys. I mean, we're at an hour and 12 minutes. Do we want to make this a two-parter?
How many other systems do we have to go?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We got 7 more systems?
Do we just want to call here, everybody?
This sounds like it might be another 2-hour deal right there.
That's up to you. I'll give it a vote. Who wants to stop it here?
I would say stop it here.
That's one vote.
We could do 2.
Okay, that's 2 votes.
We could do it.
All right, so we're going to stop it here, folks. Apparently nobody in the room is really all that good at making decisions. So,
hey, I actually made one.
I know, I'm actually...
a decision.
I'm proud of you. I really am. I'm proud of you, too.
Damn straight you're proud of me.
I love you, son.
Might be good.
Thank you.
Might be good to do a two-parter.
It's a touching moment here.
Yeah, shut up. This is a moment. We're having a moment here. Anyways, folks, it's okay, son. It's okay. So, folks, when we get back, we'll do part 2 of this series, where we will jump up to the PlayStation 2. The remaining systems that we have on the list for now are the N64, the Dreamcast, Game Boy Color, PlayStation 2, the Nintendo GameCube, the Xbox, and the Game Boy Advance. But, folks, until next time, I'm KaijuK.
I'm Necro Nick.
I'm Juggernaut Jared.
I'm Grim.
And I'm the Kitten of Doom.
And we will see you guys next time for another thrilling episode of a bunch of older people look at games that younger people think are bad, but are actually really good. Peace out, everybody.
Yeah,